Show you an example of some poorly written code in my opinion and how we can improve this code. So you can see here we've got a sign-in function and everything functions as normal. This works. This code would work in production, but I think there's a much better way of writing this. A much better way that's easier to read for other people, easier to debug for other people, and easier for other people to add to. So you can see here, this is a sign-up function that you might see in a sign-up flow. And it's got a test for an email here. It's got a password length test. It's got a test here to see if the password contains an uppercase character and a special character. And it has a test here to check if the password is equal to the confirm password. And this all functions, but it's quite hard to debug. And you can imagine this is a relatively simple example, but there could be even more complex examples in production where you're doing calls to other functions, maybe some more checks, more complicated checks with bigger if statements. And that really adds a cognitive load to the person trying to debug or add to this code. And there's a concept called return early or throw early where we can clean this code up a lot and make it far easier to debug and to add to in the future. So I've copied it all over here so we can do a little bit of an example. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to invert this if statement. I'm going to take everything inside this if statement and put it outside. I'm going to take that throw and now put it inside the if statement and remove the else. And now you see I haven't changed the functionality of the function at all. But what I have done is I reduced the layer of indentation. There used to be 4 layers of if, now there's only 3. So I can do the same again. I can invert the if. I can take what's inside it and paste it outside. I can take the throw and put it inside the if. And again, after a little bit of cleanup, you can see I've reduced the layer of indentation again. So now it's gone from 4 to 2. I can do the same again. Invert the if statement, take what's inside it and put it outside, and put the throw now inside the if statement. And again, I've reduced another layer of indentation, and I can do one more. Take this, take the throw, put it inside now, and we no longer need the else because that's our desired outcome, and our desired outcome is at the bottom of the function. And I think this reads way easier. It's much easier to add to. If I had to add another check here from maybe I wanted to do a check to make sure the password length wasn't greater than 60 characters. Well, I could do that pretty easily, right? If I just go here, if password.length is greater than 60, then throw new error, password length error. And that's pretty simple. I didn't have to kind of nestle my way into the big if statement, and it's much easier to read. You can see we have all our guard clauses here. Each of them throw, if an error, and right down the bottom we have our desired outcome. And just comparing the two, here's one, very messy I think, hard to read, hard to understand where you are. There's a lot more to keep in your brain and to understand compared to this one. Much straighter, less indentation. You can just read straight through down it. And right at the bottom is our desired outcome. It's not nested in the middle somewhere. Right down the bottom you can see what our desired outcome from the function is.